Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. So, the farmers have descended upon Whitehall and they ignored the police ban on tractors and combine harvesters and other threshing machines and so forth, all the other farm machinery. Now, the police are a bit stupid, really. Well, no change there, is there? Because they actually put this ban in place on mechanically propelled vehicles. That's every vehicle, isn't it? Every vehicle from a skateboard, a roller skate, all the way up to, a Typhoon fighter jet. They're all mechanically propelled, aren't they? I mean, you don't move by the, thought. It isn't thought transference, is it? It's mechanics. It's a stupid thing to ban. Some poor bloke on a bicycle. Oh, I'm sorry, sir, I'm arresting you for being on a mechanically propelled vehicle. I'm just going to work, officer. God, that was Python-esque, wasn't it? Anyway, they've descended, loads of them, and a lot of them brought their big machines, and the police did not arrest them because, well, they probably couldn't reach up to get to them for a start, but there was combine harvesters there and everything. And they were making it very clear that their anger was still there. They were not backing down. They are protesting against this iniquitous tax on their livelihood. You can have a farm that is, say, nominally worth £1 million, and the government want 20% of it, £200,000. Well, I'm afraid these farmers, some of them only earn £20,000, £30,000 a year, even on big holdings, because the profit in farming is so appallingly bad, and the overheads are so appallingly huge. One bad year, you're not making any money whatsoever. You're in the shitter. The only thing that keeps farmers going in this country are basically money from the government in the first place. But of course, this has got nothing to do with tax. If it was tax, they'd just ignore it. They wouldn't bother. This is to do with destroying farms. This government does not want farms. It does not want farmers. It does not want this country able to feed itself, because a country that can feed itself is one that cannot be controlled. If all food has to come in through a port, the government have only got to control the ports, and they can starve the people into submission. Fascism rising fast in this country. And so this degrading tax, where, as we speak, there are farmers considering ending their own lives. The reason is if they go now, the farm goes over to their children now, today, before this tax comes in. This is not a joke. I am genuinely true and honest on this. Farmers are considering topping themselves this month to ensure the tax isn't levied on their farms that their children will take over. Now, Reform and the Tories, whoever wins the next election, have said that this will be repealed. And moreover, they said if they win, any farmer that dies and the tax is levied, do not pay it. Make arrangements, if you have to keep it within the law, to pay small amounts as you can. Then when they get in, they will not only repeal this law, but they will pay back any monies paid under this tax. So, your farms are going to be assured. That's what they're all saying, because everyone, whether you're a farmer or not, knows the insanity of this government and that their absolute hatred for the people of this country, which is why they're trying to destroy the farms so that we can be starved into compliance and obedience, a subservient nation bowed to the will of Stalin or Starmer, depending on how you view him. A broken country. This is why that warmongering bastard wants to get blood on his hands. He wants to inflict this. Let's kill the young people. They're the ones most likely to stand up and fight on the streets as we put in our new military force on the streets to try and quell this nation and remove its rights and freedoms. That's the problem for Starmer. Too many young people. Get them in a war, get them all killed, jobs are good, and of course, easy to replace with other people. Another point that he's trying to push in, Labour's way, isn't it? Tony Blair, I'll overwhelm them with brown people. I think that was his words. Overwhelm them with immigrants. We'll teach them a lesson. How dare the middle classes have opinions? How dare they not vote Labour? Tony Blair, he started it, but now Chairman Stalin is carrying it on. Yes, this country is going down a shithole, and we've got to do something about it. And every Labour backbencher, you know what's happening. You see what's happening. You can stop it. And if you don't, it's going to be a very rude awakening in 4.5 years' time, I think, if this country hasn't erupted before then. Watch this space. But yeah, there he is. So these farmers are in the streets. They're angry. They're doing it. The police are there, like I say, but they're not confronting them. They're letting them basically get on with it. The police are at a quandary now because the police know the feeling of people in this country. They don't now want to be seen as anti-democratic. I think decisions have been made at a very high level within the Metropolitan Police to ensure that this goes off as uncringingly bad as possible, shall we say. They don't want pictures on the front of papers of police arresting little old men or little old women who happen to be farmers. They don't want children hurt in the crush. They don't want to be shown as bully boys, even though the Stasi police in this country effectively are. They're no longer policing by consent. They're policing by a political order. Your average cop on the street, don't get me wrong, he's there, he's doing a job, but they're just, and I don't want to use the Nuremberg defence of only obeying orders, but effectively, yes. But it's coming from the top. It's coming from the chief constables, the assistant chief constables, and so on, the commissioners. And that's coming down from their political masters. So, you've got to feel sorry for your constables and even your sergeants. But once you start getting above inspector level, it all starts becoming nastily political. And I do hope that those uniformed cops on the streets do use sense and don't just mindlessly start, arresting people out of fear for any comeback from their bosses. That's basically it. So it's very important that we all back the farmers and we keep on top of this and we never let this government get away with everything, which is why we monitor and we talk. I'm going to wait for another knock on the door for this video, I suspect, because it's a bit too political. But I'm not wrong. The very fact I got the first one shows I'm right. Hey-ho. Anyway, yeah, keep fighting, keep on. We all like eating. It's a habit I've got into, and it's not something I want to give up anytime soon. And I certainly don't want to be importing it with the pay the pounds going, because food will go through the roof. The price of food is already high. It's going to get much higher, especially if this tax is allowed to stay. Fight on, brothers. And if you are in London, go down the Embankment, give them a round of applause, show them you love them. Thanks very much. Bye.